Here we are again, and once again, it's a great pleasure to be with you. I hope you're enjoying everything that you're learning and the information that's being shared. Now, since we only have a few minutes together, I'd like to get right to our discussion about Deep Blue. Now, I know that all of you are probably familiar with Deep Blue and all of the Deep Blue products. However, I think it's always great to receive a bit more detailed information. Deep Blue was one of our very first blends formulated in the early days of doTERRA. And for many reasons, it's become a source of trusted relief for everyone. Initially, we began with Deep Blue as an individual oil blend, but over time, we've added additional products like the Deep Blue Rub, the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, and of course, the Deep Blue Roll-On. Now, each of the products complement each other and fulfill an individual role meant to enhance overall value and usage of the Deep Blue product line. For example, the Deep Blue blended oil has fast-acting properties when applied directly wherever it's needed. The rub contains Deep Blue oil, and it has additional components and has a longer-lasting, more deeply penetrating benefit. Now, the polyphenol complex is a bit different in that it's formulated specifically to help the body maintain a normal, healthy, inflammatory response. And lastly, the roll-on adds the benefits of the oil blend in a pre-diluted form for easy use on the go, and it's for the entire family. Now at doTERRA, we've been consistent in our efforts to provide products that support you in your personal approach to wellness. So let's take a few minutes now and let's just understand a little bit more in greater detail why I believe adding Deep Blue to your wellness regimen can be very meaningful. Now, there's many reasons why we have need for what I would call soothing relief. And so I'm going to refer to these needs as a cycle, understanding that many times we have one or more reasons which are disrupting to our personal comfort. In fact, there are three well-known reasons why that occurs. The first, and it is in general the most common and one that we've all experienced in one way or another, is that we have some type of an immediate concern. A normal part of that response to the body, it's a healing process, and it has inflammation and a concomitant discomfort, which we then experience. Both of which, among other things, are meant to stabilize the area, alert us of the problem, and infiltrate the area with healing activities such as particular cells or tissue remodeling. All of us at one time or another have experienced this type of situation. Now, we also undergo this type of condition on a much milder scale, such as after a strong exercise session or strenuous activity. While not as overwhelming as an injury, this process mimics similar patterns of microinflammation and possibility of discomfort. I've recognized over the years that oftentimes, if you're like me, we react to our needs only when they become apparent or bothersome. So one key point I would like to make, and it's not singular to the Deep Blue product line, but it is significant, and that is that Deep Blue actually fits into an active lifestyle, and it's helpful in daily uses as well as when obvious needs arise. Now, the second element of this cycle that we spoke of is our body's immune response. Now, earlier, yesterday, I talked with you a lot about immunity, and I know that you understand much of the immune response in the body. So as previously mentioned in that discussion and others, you now know that inflammation is a valuable asset for recovery. And once again, your body will respond with its healing capabilities. Unfortunately, discomfort is oftentimes a part of that process as well. Now, the last stage of the cycle, and something you'll learn a little bit more about in the coming discussions that we'll have in this event, is a cycle secondary to circumstances of the body, such as various forms of emotional unrest. Many individuals have physical responses which are uncomfortable subsequent to the circumstances of lasting stress or disruptions in mental wellness. So as a point of interest, in each of these steps within the cycle lies a common denominator. And the denominator is that of inflammation and the potential for discomfort in varying degrees. Understanding that there are three individual concepts in the cycle of discomfort, and the outcomes associated with them are similar, although circumstances specified before those outcomes can be very different, it becomes much easier to understand the usage of each of the Deep Blue products that I mentioned earlier. A good example of this is the Deep Blue Rub, the oil blend, the roll-on. They're all meant primarily to be used topically during the first phase of the cycle, which is acute issues or some type of strenuous activity. However, the polyphenol complex is a little bit different. It's meant to be used internally, and it's helpful for supporting a normal inflammation response for all phases of the cycle. Now, another way to think of this is that Deep Blue products are meant to be used consistently. This is the mistake that oftentimes we make. We use things episodically when the greater value comes by using them with great consistency. Now, as is always the case, I'd like to exercise a moment of good judgment and give a reminder that in many situations it is wise to understand the complete nature of the circumstance. And while our products may be helpful and in and of themselves, and I will tell you I believe they are helpful, that they also support other therapies and modalities which we may choose to pursue. I believe the purity of our products lend themselves to this naturally, and more, doTERRA is at the center of this powerful model of integration into mainstream therapies and healthcare as a whole. I'd like to take just a moment and say thank you to the many partners we have around the world who are participating with us in this way. Good science, good methodology only serves to help us improve our understanding and the benefits that we can expect. Now, since the Deep Blue blend is central to our Deep Blue products, let's take a closer look at how the oil was blended. Many of the oils in this blend have obvious benefit, but remember that when we blend essential oils together, we spoke about this before, we can enhance and amplify the benefit that we receive. In science, this principle is referred to as synergy. Now, I know you're familiar with that, but as a reminder, that is to say that while the individual oil found within this blend, in and of themselves, are helpful, collectively, they're more likely to meet our expectations. Now, one of the things I like about this unique blend of oils is that it follows patterns that make sense to us, sometimes out of our own experience, but also by evaluating them through research. Mainly for my own purposes, I have always thought to use and understand oils better, I should categorize them. Now, we had a discussion earlier yesterday where I talked about categorizing oils by chemistry. And so, of course, there are many ways that we can do this. Now, I'm not going to talk about chemistry, but we can look at the components of chemistry, such as terpenes and functional chemistry groups, like alcohols and ketones, and many of the others that we've already mentioned. But we can also classify by aroma. For example, the citrus and mint family of oils, we know them to be strongly aromatic, and that's one of the reasons why they remain as some of our favorites. We can also classify by action. Is the oil uplifting or is it soothing? One method I found to be helpful is to classify the oils by groups. So I'll give you an example. Mint oils, citrus oils, flower, herbaceous, tree, and spice oils. The essential oils in Deep Blue divide nicely into plant groups. Although this method is not perfect, it does serve as an additional way we can begin to expand our ability to use essential oils as a whole rather than just those with which we are most familiar. Now, I should point out that there are many oils which could provide similar benefits and that are found throughout plant groups as a whole. For example, spice oils like cinnamon, cassia, or thyme. They have a warming benefit, which is soothing to the tissues. Herbaceous and grass oils, like marjoram or lemongrass, have a similar benefit. There are also many essential oils which can support the body's normal inflammation response, which is always helpful. You may have your favorites, or from time to time have created your own blend. I feel this is a great way to take advantage of your own personal preference and experience. But remember, in the Deep Blue blend, oils were chosen specifically for their collective properties. Synergy is a guiding principle in all the doTERRA blends. Now, Deep Blue comprises 3 very specific plant groups by category. with each oil being chosen for a specific chemistry within that category. And those categories, those groups, are mint, tree, and floral oils. Now, I know that those categories become very broad because we could subdivide those categories and not just say tree. We could say tree, and we could talk about resins and a number of other things or components. But in general, those categories work very well. And each one has purpose and adds to the overall value of the Deep Blue blend. So let's talk first about wintergreen essential oil. I know you're familiar with it. It's one of my favorites, and I'm certain it's one of yours as well. Wintergreen oil contains a compound known as methyl salicylate. Now, I lied to you. I told you I wasn't going to talk about chemistry, and if you haven't figured it out yet, I always talk about chemistry. But in this case, I'm only going to mention some of the strongest compounds that provide the greatest benefit that when they combine together is useful for Deep Blue as a whole. Methyl salicylate has a soothing sensation along with an uplifting aroma. Now, methyl salicylate, which in wintergreen is proportionally high, produces a calming and a deeply penetrating sensation, especially when we apply it topically. Peppermint remains one of my favorite essential oils and has a wide variety of uses. You're familiar with many of them, and I have confidence that you use peppermint in many of the same ways that I do. Among many others, it's used to support proper respiratory activity and digestion. Now, for a long time, my friends have all teased me, and they all call me the Peppermint Man. Now, I suppose that has happened for good reason. I almost always, 100% of the time, have peppermint with me. I love peppermint, and I still use it regularly for many different reasons. For the purposes of this blend, however, peppermint was an excellent choice due to its content of both menthol and menthone. And so if you've ever used peppermint, I'm sure that you have noticed its profound cooling sensation. I also enjoy the invigorating aroma of peppermint. It's always uplifting. Now, the third oil in this blend is the oil of camphor. I'd like to spend just a minute and talk with you about camphor. Now, I'm going to share an experience that I had many years ago. In fact, it was not too long after we had introduced Deep Blue, and I had really begun to appreciate the effectiveness it had for many. Deep Blue was one of the first oils that I had the opportunity to go out and begin sharing with other individuals. And on one occasion, in a discussion with several, a woman challenged me on the formulation of Deep Blue, suggesting that camphor oil was unsafe and should not be used. She expressed that she was concerned that she had read camphor has toxic chemistry. Now, I don't want to catch you off guard, and it may surprise you when I tell you, as I did her, that she was correct. So let me explain. Like many essential oils, oftentimes there's different species and different chemotypes. This is also true with camphor oil. Generally, there are 4 well-known types of camphor. They're referred to as white, brown, yellow, and blue camphor. Very creative, as you can see. Unlike white camphor, the brown, yellow, and blue varieties of camphor do have toxicity concerns. Therefore, white camphor becomes the most acceptable for aromatherapy and essential oil practices. She was completely unaware of this distinction. I would ask you to have confidence in our efforts at doTERRA. Although she was personally unfamiliar with these differences, we're keenly aware. In our pursuit of what's pure, our constant vigilance of CPTG standards, and our ever-growing scientific research opportunities, we continue in new discovery and gained expertise against the backdrop, of course, of safety and efficacy. Now, I oftentimes take a few moments to thank individuals, and I would like to thank the many scientists, the chemists, and the physicians who work tirelessly in our behalf. I thank them for their expertise and their constant efforts, and it's my privilege and my pleasure to work with them. Now, camphor is a tree oil, and so I'd like to mention 2 specific constituents of camphor: limonene, which you're already familiar with, and 1,8-cineol. Now, you'll remember limonene is this monoterpene, and we talked about its wonderful benefits in helping the body to protect itself. 1,8-cineol is also in oils like eucalyptus, and it adds to the soothing properties and cooling effect of deep blue when used topically. Now let's talk lastly about 5 different flower oils that are found in this blend. Now we can make a broad statement about flower oils, and we can say that generally they're very relaxing and they're calming. They're used in many different blends in doTERRA, and I'm certain the flower oils are some of your favorite oils. A key point to remember is that flower oils are relaxing to the body, soothing to the tissues, calming to the emotions, and replenishing to the skin. So you can see that they have a very broad spectrum of activity associated with them. They're an important addition to this blend because of their relaxing and soothing nature. So let's begin by talking about 3 of the 5. Let's talk about ylang-ylang, helichrysum, and osmanthus. Now, as the case with every oil in this blend, remember that we're working for synergy. Each one has constituents which is helpful for bringing soothing relief and support. Now, it seems a bit unusual to have so many different flower oils in one blend. However, remember, it's a feature of nearly all oils in the floral category to be relaxing to the body as a whole. Ylang-ylang, for example, contains beta-caryophyllene or beta-caryophyllene. You can say it either way. One of the primary chemical constituents that's also found in doTERRA's copaiba oil. Now, we've had much discussion about copaiba, so that should draw you to some immediate conclusions as to why we put ylang-ylang in this blend. The support this constituent provides is well understood. Now, when combined with gamma-curcumin and helichrysum and the ketones found with osmanthus, the overall chemical influence is soothing and relaxing to the tissues. So let's talk about chamomile oils for just a brief moment. Now, there's 3 different types of chamomile oils. You're probably familiar with all of them. However, we only use 2 of them in the deep blue blend. And the 2 that we use are Moroccan chamomile, which is commonly known as blue tansy, and German chamomile, which is referred to as blue chamomile. Now, there's some differences and duplication between these 2 chamomile essential oils. Now, deep blue has its beautiful color because of these 2 oils. Samageline, which is found in both of the oils, is very soothing to the body and provides that deep bluish green color. Now, it's a shared constituent between both oils. It is an especially important compound when the need arises to soothe and calm the tissues. Relaxation of the tissues is equally important since irritated tissues can feel tense and they can feel very stressed. Now, another interesting note is the difference in terpene content between each of these 2, what I'll refer to now as blue oils, the chamomile oils. Blue tansy is mainly comprised of monoterpenes with some sesquiterpene content, while blue chamomile is nearly all sesquiterpenes and only has a very small amount of monoterpenes. Now, this may seem unimportant, and maybe because it's chemistry, because here we are again. Although I'm speaking in very broad terms, these differences mean something very specific and important to us. And that is that the potential enhanced for faster acting and longer lasting outcomes because of those differences is substantially increased. Although there can be many reasons why we experience discomfort, there are things we can do to help mitigate their expression. And that's an important concept to remember, especially when we add to it, be consistent in your approach and seek to understand your individual needs. Ask for appropriate help. Seek the guidance of others when necessary. I believe that when we fully engage in our own health practices, when we improve lifestyle, when we provide proper nutrition and utilize the benefits of essential oils, change and improvement is always possible. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you. I wish each of you happiness and health in all of your endeavors. Our commitment to you is unwavering. It's a pleasure to know you and to serve you. I look forward to a time when we're together again. Thank you for spending a few moments with me.
I could listen to Dr. Hill speak all day long, and some days I do. We can't talk about deep blue without first talking about one of the hero oils that make this blend so effective. doTERRA sources 160 different oils, and I get asked all the time, which one is my favorite? Of course, I love them all, and my favorites are determined by what I'm dealing with in the moment. That's what I love about oils, is we always get to choose which one is calling to us in that moment. It's kind of like asking which child is my favorite. It all depends on how well they're behaving at any given time. So can you guess which oil in deep blue has earned hero status at my house? I can depend on this oil to perform every single time without fail. You don't hear a lot about it, but it's a very, very precious oil. Even its name depicts just how special it is. The translation of this oil's name is golden sun. Do you know what oil it is yet? It's helichrysum. We talked about helichrysum touch earlier as we revealed new products. We're really excited to make this precious oil available in a touch version, which makes application really simple and easy and the price more economical. Now let me share with you why I love helichrysum so much. I was recently paddle boating across the lake with my husband. It was a beautiful summer day. The birds were chirping. We were holding hands. It was one of those romantic moments. The kids weren't there. My husband asked me to wash his sunglasses so he could see better. So we stopped paddling, and I obliged. He had some dirt that I couldn't get off with my shirt, so I stood up and dipped the glasses in the water. Just as I brought them out of the water, my husband decided to start paddling again at warp speed. He didn't realize my shin was directly in front of my foot puddle. Needless to say, there was a massive explosion, and the romantic mood was gone. I tried really hard to be brave, but my shin bone felt like something had exploded. There may have been some tears that fell as Corey quickly paddled us back to shore. I hobbled across the rocks and went for my bottle of helichrysum and applied it directly to my shin. I grabbed a baggie of ice and propped it on top of my leg. Relief came immediately. Not completely, but enough that I could breathe. At this point, I decided it was a good time to get lost in a good book. So I read as I let the helichrysum and ice work their magic. I didn't even bruise, and the gnarly knot that I had when I came out of the lake went away completely. I could tell you countless stories about using helichrysum, from nosebleeds to emotional exhaustion and so much in between. Helichrysum has a rich history. Besides golden sun, it is also known as everlasting and immortal. These golden flowers grow in steep mountain slopes and do not wilt, which is how it got its nicknames. In ancient times, helichrysum was used as an anti-aging skin nourisher and has been used for generations to rejuvenate skin. It's no wonder that it is one of the most restorative essential oils, especially for skin. The particular species that we source contains a unique chemical constituent called idalidiones. This constituent is not found in any other essential oil, including any other helichrysum oils. Sharing chemical qualities such as alpha-pinene with frankincense and arbor vitae, the addition of idalidiones makes helichrysum an exceptional oil for tissue rejuvenation. Helichrysum also has rejuvenating benefits on the cellular level and creates a more youthful appearance, an effect on your skin externally, and a youthful effect on your cells internally. The use of helichrysum has been shown to reduce pro-inflammatory enzymes, which in turn helps lessen redness and swelling. Let me share a few of my favorite ways to use helichrysum. First of all, I love it as a spot treatment. I'll put it on my face, right, as I wash my face and before I apply my moisturizer. Any of those dark spots on my face or problem areas, I love to use that as a spot treatment. Bloody noses. I will either apply it directly under the nose or on a tissue and put it up into the nostrils to provide some really great relief that way. Also, for nerve discomfort, you can add it in with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, or you can use the helichrysum touch, which is already diluted in fractionated coconut oil, and apply it topically wherever the need is. The aroma of helichrysum has powerful emotional benefits. It inspires courage and gives one strength to conquer anger, fear, resentment, and release negative emotions that plague so many of us. As the mother of two very rambunctious boys, I've seen a few broken bones in my day. Helichrysum's restorative properties have been a lifesaver at our house. I like to layer it with Siberian fir and top it off with wintergreen. It's no wonder it is one of the superheroes to the deep blue blend. And now we have it available in touch form, so it is more affordable and accessible than ever before. Every home needs to have this beautiful oil. You just never know when you're going to need it. It is said that a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. That's probably how you felt about Helichrysum before today. And while it might not be one of your favorite oils yet, it's just because you haven't spent enough time with it. So now that you've learned all of its amazing benefits, I can't wait for you to fall in love with Helichrysum just as I have.
Deep Blue and Helichrysum are some of my favorite products. It's been amazing to learn more about them. Also, it's been so fun to see how global our audience is. Thank you to everyone who shared where they're joining us from. Keep posting. You'll be happy to hear, in addition to our Relief Kit giveaway, we have another fun product giveaway. At the end of this session, we're going to have a quick quiz show after our very last speaker. By participating, you'll have the chance to win even more amazing products. So be sure to watch until the end. Until then, we're going to spend a few minutes with some highly qualified individuals who have an absolute wealth of information about using natural products and holistic methods to find relief. So welcome, David, Doris, and Tim. We're so excited to have you here. Seeing you all together is a little surreal just because I know how much experience and expertise you collectively have. Thank you for taking some time to share your professional insight on how doTERRA products can be used effectively in the field, in the office, in the training room, and at home. Doris, thanks so much for being with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and where you're working right now?
Thank you for having me. So my name is Doris Martel. I'm a neuromuscular therapist. I've been working in the NBA for 10 years, and currently I'm with the team Philadelphia 76ers. So we're right now in what we call the bubble, the Orlando bubble, to finish the season and start playing the playoffs.
David, we're so excited to have you here at your very first convention. Tell the audience a little bit about your line of work and what brought you to Prime Meridian. What does a day of work look like for you?
Well, thank you for having me. It is an honor to be here with each of you, with Doris and Tim and Bree with you as well. I'm a physical therapist and a certified strength and conditioning specialist, and have spent most of my time in private practice over the last 20 years. And then after returning back to Utah, I was kind of brought to Prime Meridian because I love their combination of Eastern and Western medicine coming together to try to provide the best patient experience for people. I love that focus. There's a quote by Benjamin Franklin that says, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." And if you think about what that really means, it's great to get out in front of things versus just practicing reactive medicine all the time. And I really believe that that's what doTERRA, as well as what Prime Meridian is trying to do, is empower people to take control of their health as much as possible. And I think that's a really wonderful kind of goal, as well as a kind of a stance for this business and the things that we're doing to really make a difference in people's lives. So that's what drove me to make a decision to come here.
That's incredible. Thank you, David. Tim, we're so glad to have you back with us. Can you start us off by telling us how doTERRA has played a part in your life?
Yes, for me, first of all, taking care of my body so I could do what I do at a high level on the field and prioritizing recovery, but then also having a family and making sure I was able to take care of my family, to find something to help me take care of my body, take care of my family, and then connect me with people all around the world. Community is very important to me, so that's what led me to doTERRA, and that's what excites me about being a part of doTERRA.
I love that. That's incredible. And I know you use doTERRA products on a daily basis. So what are some of your go-to supplements and why?
Yeah, that depends on how I'm feeling for the day and what I need. But really consistently, it's the Deep Blue, whether that's topically, whether that's ingesting it, copaiba, turmeric, those things, just getting rid of that discomfort. I'm very active in my day. And so as quickly as I can get rid of any type of discomfort in my body and return back to peak performance, it allows me to be at my best. So those, I would say, Deep Blue, copaiba, and turmeric, those three I'm probably using every day, and then we'll go from there depending on how my body's feeling.
Doris, I'd love to hear from you about what doTERRA products and supplements you found to be most useful in your field.
I use the oil in 3 different ways. So I kind of like to use them as an assistant, like an extra tool that I would have in my bag. And I kind of like use them like if they would help me achieve the goal that I'm trying to have. The first goal is bringing the guys on the table to get treatments. And the treatment that I give are really painful. So one way of doing that is diffusing. For example, Breathe is like my number one oil that I like to use, and I like to diffuse it because when they smell it, they now kind of associate the smell with I'm going to get a treatment and I'm going to feel better and I'm going to get better. So it's kind of like the inviting oil. I love the smell of it. It's fresh. It's really pleasing and relaxing. And then I've been like trying different type of oils, and then the players also have their own preference. So sometimes they ask me, can you try this oil? And then I also use the oil to help my work, to help my touch and whatever I'm doing to work better. So I love copaiba and I love Deep Blue, either the oil or the Deep Blue rub. Sometimes I mix 3 of them together. And it really helps, the cooling effect really help with what I'm trying to achieve with them. And I like to also give them to take internally peppermint and ginger. It seems like it helps a lot with digestion and like giving them a little bit more of a kick, it looks like.
That is really cool, Doris. I love that. What's some of the most common feedback you hear about Deep Blue from the athletes that you work with?
They love Deep Blue. So I know that the recommendation is to use it post exercise or practice or game, but a lot of them like it pre-exercise because they tell me that they like the cooling effect, the tingling effect that it gives them, and they tell me that it helps them like stay focused and give them like a little bit of kick of energy to stay awake during their exercise or game or whatever. So they really like Deep Blue for that effect. And then I use it also post game, you know, for flushes, for example, and the smell is really relaxing, and it really helps the body recover better.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Doris. David, tell us how you've used essential oils and supplements to help your clients find comfort and relief. Do you have any unique advice you can share about how you use doTERRA products in your work?
Yeah, thanks. You know, my first exposure to doTERRA was through Deep Blue. You know, you've heard that, and through many of us, and we've used it on patients. It was actually brought to me by a patient and said, hey, why don't you try this? And as I tried it, it was amazing for me to see the response of people. They loved how it felt. You know, it helped them in terms of improving their function. And so I'm always a big fan of those things that work. And then shortly after I joined Prime Meridian, I was in a mountain bike accident and I broke my clavicle and had to have surgery to get it fixed. And because, you know, there's stuff here in the clinic, they were like, you need to make sure that you're taking the Deep Blue polyphenol ingestibles as well as the Gopaiba soft gels. And as I did that, I was really surprised at how well it helped me in my recovery from my clavicle fracture. And so I can speak from my own experience of having it work on my own body, as well as countless other patients who have had positive experiences with Deep Blue, that these things really work, and it helps people return to function and try to improve function as well. My piece of advice that I would give to our audience is simply that you want to be curious about your body. You want to be, you know, doing those things that would improve your health and maximize, you know, what you're doing in life as much as possible. And so as you use different products and try different modalities, you know, it's a great way to figure out what works best for my body and go do those things. Create habits in your life, whether that's exercise, you know, stretching, and some of the products that we offer here, to make sure that you're trying to get the most out of your daily function and try to keep your function as good as it can be for as long as it can be.
Thanks again, everyone. We loved having you here, and until next time. Up next, we'll hear from two science experts about more of your favorite doTERRA supplements.
Hello, doTERRA friends. Over the last few years, you've heard about copaiba, an amazing essential oil that comes from the resin of large trees in the tropical rainforests of South America. This type of tree has been used by people in the region for its restorative properties and support of overall well-being. One of the many reasons people get so excited about copaiba essential oil is because it's a rich source of beta-caryophyllene. Beta-caryophyllene is a well-researched cannabinoid and sesquiterpene. If you've already read up on copaiba, you know about cannabinoids, but I'll quickly review it so the information is fresh. Beta-caryophyllene is supportive of multiple systems in the body. This is because it binds to receptors in the endocannabinoid system. If you remember my presentation from last year, you'll recall that this system is a series of receptors, enzymes, and molecules that help maintain homeostasis. It's basically a stabilizing system that works collaboratively with other body systems to help us stay healthy. The receptors that beta-caryophyllene binds to are predominantly found on immune cells, and the immune system regulates our inflammatory response. Now, you might also remember from last year that beta-caryophyllene works on various other pathways to support your overall well-being, so not all of its benefits come from regulating the endocannabinoid system. Let's talk for a minute about the innate immune system. The innate immune system coordinates your inflammatory response as a protective mechanism. You might think that inflammation is bad, but it's actually your body's necessary and normal response to injuries and infections. In this way, short-term inflammation is a good thing because it helps fight invaders and assists us in the healing process. The key is to support this defensive inflammatory response, which includes helping it resolve after a threat has ended, because prolonged inflammation can be harmful. Supporting a healthy inflammatory response is also important for your general comfort, because inflammation can activate cells in the nervous system that send signals of discomfort to the brain. The brain and spinal cord constantly receive signals from peripheral nerves throughout the body. Additionally, the brain and spinal cord send signals to muscles that coordinate movement. These patterns of signals develop through practice and use, which explains how we learn skills like riding a bike or playing a musical instrument. Doing something repeatedly actually changes the brain because it forms new connections between brain cells. When you learn something new or practice a skill you already have, the two-way communication between peripheral nerves and the central nervous system either forms new connections or makes existing neural pathways weaker or stronger. So what happens when these connections in the nervous system are disrupted or malfunction? Well, that's when we start to experience broader or longer lasting discomfort. In essence, sensors on cells in your muscles become short-circuited, causing the central nervous system to make signals of discomfort stronger. Think of this process in relation to your car horn. You have a pad on your steering wheel that can be pressed. This pad is like the sensors in your muscles and other areas of the body outside the brain. When you press the pad, a circuit is activated that sends a signal to the horn under the hood. The horn, in this case, being your brain. In response, the horn sends communication back, which is the sound of your horn. If you continue to hold down the pad and send the signal, the noise from the horn persists. Similarly, in some circumstances, your peripheral nervous system can malfunction and begin to constantly send signals to the brain. These signals create a louder signal of discomfort that is sent back from the brain. It's like someone's constantly pressing the horn pad of your peripheral nervous system. Copaiba essential oil does a remarkable job of supporting a healthy inflammatory response so that this response can do its protective job and resolve appropriately. Think about that for a moment. I'm sure many of you are reaching for your Copaiba soft gels right now. This is truly a must-use essential oil. And its support of a healthy inflammatory response is just one of many benefits. Copaiba also supports healthy function of the peripheral and central nervous systems, so it can send and receive normal signals without amplifying them. When it's ingested, whether in the form of soft gels or with a drop under the tongue, it provides a significant amount of beta-caryophyllene. The beta-caryophyllene can bind to CB2 receptors in the immune system and in the muscles and bones, in turn helping support a healthy inflammatory response and healthy nervous system responses. Once bound to these CB2 receptors, it activates them and promotes overall body comfort and relief. Because of its influence on normal activities in the immune, nervous, and musculoskeletal systems, Copaiba is a great choice when you want relief from occasional discomforts. In addition to beta-caryophyllene, Copaiba oil contains other key constituents like alpha-humulene and trans-alpha-bergamottine, which have similar properties and create a synergy with beta-caryophyllene to support a healthy inflammatory response and quiet occasional minor aches. Now that we know more about the soothing benefits of Copaiba, let's talk about how to use it effectively. One of the easiest ways is to take Copaiba soft gels daily. You can take one soft gel as needed. Each soft gel has roughly 2 drops of Copaiba essential oil. For regular support, we recommend taking Copaiba soft gel in the morning and at night. During times when you need extra support, you can take 2 soft gels more frequently. Besides the relief that Copaiba soft gels provide, they also support the nervous, cardiovascular, immune, and digestive systems. This is because CB2 receptors are located in major organs throughout these systems. The key to relief with Copaiba is consistency. You need to take it daily and consistently to maximize the benefits. You can also drop 1 or 2 drops from the 15 milliliter bottle directly on or under your tongue. Start with 1 drop twice daily, so morning and evening, and adjust from there according to your needs. Taking Copaiba this way allows for quick and direct access to your bloodstream because of the rich supply of capillaries under the tongue. Copaiba also has great topical benefits. This oil is known for its ability to enhance the absorption of other fat-soluble substances like essential oils through the skin. This helps improve the efficiency of other oils that work in a similar manner. For instance, if you want to improve the appearance of your skin, this is a great essential oil to utilize. Simply combine 3 to 5 drops each of Copaiba, frankincense, and sandalwood in a 10 milliliter roller bottle and fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil. Then roll on to any trouble spots or stressed skin to promote healthy looking skin. If your body is really feeling that hard workout you just finished, rub a few drops of Deep Blue into the muscles, then layer a couple of drops of Copaiba on top of this, followed by covering the application with carrier oil. This layered approach creates a synergy that leads to greater comfort. If you're looking to unwind at the end of the day, massage doTERRA Balance or doTERRA Serenity into your feet with a drop or 2 of Copaiba. The combinations you can use to make things better with Copaiba are virtually endless. The unique composition of Copaiba essential oil, which is almost entirely sesquiterpenes, makes it an oil that every home should have. And for those of us in our mid-30s or older, regular ingestion of Copaiba can improve our overall wellness and make sure that we don't miss life's important events. Try it for yourself, and I think you'll agree that things are better with Copaiba.
Lots of things are better in pairs. Salt and pepper, Batman and Robin, chocolate and peanut butter, and curcuminoids and turmerones. That's why we created the turmeric duo caps. Turmeric is a special plant. It is one of the most recognized, studied, and widely used natural products throughout the world. With over 6,000 scientific publications on turmeric alone, there's plenty of reason to be using this product each and every day, which is why we created the turmeric duo caps. This is an incredible product that has been specially formulated to support a healthy inflammatory response in your body. One of the reasons this product is possible is because of its dual capsule design. This specialized delivery system allows the capsule to provide you with all the best that turmeric has to offer. It took us nearly 3 years of experimenting to perfect this dual capsule design. Because of this unique delivery, you are able to get both curcuminoids and turmerones in the same capsule. The curcuminoids come from the powder extract, while the turmeric essential oil delivers the turmerones. When curcuminoids and turmerones are combined, they are far more powerful than either one alone at providing support for your inflammatory response. Nature had it right in the beginning to put both of these compounds together. Since we introduced this product a year ago, many people have found daily use of turmeric dual chamber capsules to be the most effective usage pattern. Others have had a great experience using this product on an as-needed basis. We invite you to use these unique capsules in the way you benefit the most. From one hero to the next, the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex is like Superman of supplements. It is always ready when called on. In fact, it's one of our most popular products and has been in the Deep Blue family since 2015. It's my mom's favorite doTERRA product. In fact, some days she likes it better than she likes some of my siblings. It has a unique combination of broad-spectrum, powerful botanicals, including frankincense, ginger, turmeric, pomegranate, green tea, grapeseed, and Polygonum cuspidatum, each standardized to powerful, effective bioactive compounds. Realizing that frankincense delivers acetyl-11 beta-boswellic acids, ginger delivers potent gingerols, turmeric delivers a complete curcuminoid complex, pomegranate delivers antioxidant flavonoids, and we finish with catechins, proanthocyanidins, and resveratrol. It is little wonder Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex is one of our hero products. This product can do incredible things for occasional discomfort. For those of you looking to capitalize regularly on all this hero has to offer, you may want to use this product daily as a maintenance product. For others, it might be enough for you to use 2 capsules before a workout in order to support muscle and joint comfort. In either case, you are sure to experience great benefits and relief. Using the polyphenol complex internally in conjunction with a rub topically is one way to get maximum relief. The polyphenol complex soothes occasional aches and discomfort, while the rub provides a warming and cooling effect that can be extremely comforting after a long day. If you are looking for relief and want my professional opinion, I recommend using both the turmeric duo caps and Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex for a 1-2 punch. You will support your body's healthy inflammatory response and ease discomfort, all while having another option to lesser alternatives.
We know that finding relief is a priority for many of you, and there are a lot of questions surrounding this topic. To help you get clarity, we've pulled together some experts to answer some of the most common questions about using doTERRA products for relief. I have with me today Dr. Brannick Riggs and Roxanne Harris. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
When it comes to finding relief, this is a topic that's very urgent for many people, and both of you have a wealth of experience helping people work through this. We've gathered questions from wellness advocates across the world, and they're hoping you can bring some clarity. Our first question is, do you have an age recommendation for starting to take supplements?
I would recommend going by a child's weight rather than age, as well as their ability to swallow supplements without an issue. My recommendation is that children over 100 pounds who can swallow a capsule can begin taking supplements.
Deep Blue is one of our most popular product lines, but people often have questions about which product to use and when. When do you recommend using Deep Blue oil or rub versus Deep Blue polyphenol complex?
That's a great question. It depends on the effect that you're looking for, really. The topical products, Deep Blue Rub and Deep Blue Oil, give you a localized benefit to areas of concern. This means that you can really target a specific area. The polyphenols, on the other hand, are meant to give a more systemic effect throughout the whole body. So if you're looking for relief from general, occasional aches and pains, I'd recommend the Deep Blue polyphenols.
Okay, so for the Deep Blue polyphenols, it's more of that long-term relief that you're looking for.
The Deep Blue polyphenols is really meant to be for a global effect as opposed to that localized effect. That's kind of the difference between the two.
Awesome.
You don't get as much of the global influence when you're applying something topically to an area of concern as opposed to when you're looking for some global issue that you're dealing with where you would take something systemic.
Awesome. Perfect.
That's a great point, and I would like to add on an interesting note that many people choose to use Deep Blue polyphenols when they're experiencing acute head tension, menstrual discomfort, or other challenges where normally they would reach for maybe a less natural option. They love using Deep Blue polyphenols as an alternative solution.
Great. Now, here's a tough one. Is Deep Blue oil or Deep Blue rub better?
Well, that's difficult to answer. I think that they both serve a purpose. I think that Deep Blue Rub is best used when you're looking for that fast relief, when the oil can be used over time for discomfort.
That's very true, Dr. Riggs, and I think this is a great description to help people understand the two products. Similarly, I actually don't tend to think of these two products in terms of one being better than the other, but in terms of what the body's needs actually are. I'm a strong proponent of a multifaceted approach, both targeted by using the Deep Blue Rub directly on an area of concern, and also systemically through using Deep Blue polyphenols to balance and support the inflammatory response for a reduced recovery time. When we experience discomfort, using both Deep Blue products may have a more optimal effect, while we also address other factors such as a whole food diet and reducing stress and reducing toxic load.
Okay, here's a good one. When is the best time to apply Deep Blue Rub, and where should I apply it?
The best time to apply it is when you're experiencing discomfort. And the best way to apply it is to the surrounding tissue. Actually, we commonly use Deep Blue Rub in the clinic when someone comes in with discomfort to help relax the area so that we can examine that area a little bit easier because we've relieved some of that discomfort and tension that they're dealing with.
And I actually love the quick action of Deep Blue. When people have a problem area, my recommendation is to use it 3 times a day initially until they notice that the discomfort is negligible midday. Then I have them simply remove the midday dose and apply just in the morning to help set them up for a more functional day, and then again before bed to help the body continue to relax throughout the night and to support a comfortable sleep. So really, I'm recommending 3 times a day initially, but I do love using Deep Blue Rub in the morning to help people set up for a good day so that we don't get those spikes and challenges and discomfort, or at least keep it to a more manageable level.
Now a question that a lot of people have about Deep Blue polyphenol complex is, should they only take them when they feel discomfort, or should people take them on a daily basis even when they don't feel discomfort?
I would recommend taking them when you have occasional discomfort, and I'd recommend taking 1 to 2 capsules daily. If you're dealing with daily discomfort, take 1 daily. If an individual has no discomfort at all, then the benefit of taking them daily is quite low.
Dr. Riggs, I agree with that. And, people that have long-standing issues may actually want to take this on a daily basis regardless of their discomfort because it may offer positive benefits by supporting a healthy inflammatory process.
True. Yeah, good point.
So if the root cause of discomfort is not dealt with, but Deep Blue products, copaiba, turmeric, continue to be used, can this cause adverse effects?
Riel, it's always wise to discover the root cause of any irritation in the body. And we encourage people to reach out to their healthcare providers for that. The reason we feel discomfort is because it is a signal from our bodies that something may be wrong. And these supplements and products that we've talked about may be able to help mitigate discomfort while you're pursuing the appropriate attention to discover the underlying cause of that discomfort.
Well, and when we know what we're dealing with, it's actually easier to provide a more specific protocol. Using the products and oils to take a stab in the dark at an issue can have a more limited effect versus dealing with the underlying root cause. I like to be laser focused when using natural solutions. We get a greater response from the body when we actually give it what it needs. To me, the adversity comes when you don't address the actual issue itself.
So is it possible to use too much Deep Blue, whether it be the rub, the oil, or the supplement?
You know, we're all quite comfortable with the safety of essential oils, but there are always questions about high amounts causing toxicity. Deep Blue Rub does have methyl salicylate in the wintergreen oil. This compound is metabolized into salicylates, including salicylic acid, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. Those that have sensitivity to non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, or NSAIDs, may want to be more cautious in the use of Deep Blue Rub and oil. Turmeric in high enough concentrations has been shown to thin the blood. So if a person is having blood thinning treatment, they should be aware that consistent dosing of this compound or an avoidance of the compound might be wise.
I totally agree with you. And, working with your healthcare provider or pharmacist to know what the best dose is for you based on your size and weight is a really great idea.
Yeah.
Switching now to a newer supplement that has gained a lot of popularity, Copaiba soft gels. How can Copaiba soft gels help ease discomfort?
I see Copaiba as an adjunct for discomfort. I like using it to layer underneath Deep Blue Rub for added support. I also like taking 2 Copaiba soft gels daily to support the inflammatory response systemically, while also supporting my sleep and emotional wellness. When the digestive system is challenged, adding Copaiba soft gels to your daily wellness protocol can be very helpful to regain a balanced function. And Copaiba seems to be well tolerated and works with the endocannabinoid system to have a direct effect on the immune system itself. Many find that Copaiba offers relief from their discomfort. It really does so much more and can be a wonderful adjunct to Deep Blue polyphenols and turmeric.
And helichrysum is one of our costly oils, so we're grateful to now offer it in a new touch format. When would it be best used?
Helichrysum is an unsung hero oil. I know you heard Emily talk about it. It offers exceptional support. Applying helichrysum to the spine and the base of the skull when experiencing discomfort provides a soothing and comforting sensation. Helichrysum is a very fast-acting essential oil, and it's used widely for soothing skin irritations and to also rejuvenate the skin itself.
Our last question is about turmeric duo capsules. Is it okay to take turmeric duo capsules together with the Deep Blue polyphenol complex?
Absolutely. If you find that this combination works well for you and your body, then there's nothing wrong with taking these 2 supplements together.
Taking both Deep Blue polyphenols and the turmeric duo capsules can be a phenomenal combination, especially when occasional discomforts have affected other organs or even body systems. Often long-standing discomfort can induce a stress response that can adversely affect other systems, such as the digestive system, for example. Turmeric duo capsules not only support a healthy inflammatory process, but offer support to other body systems as well.
Thank you both so much for joining us today, and a huge thanks to all of our speakers during this amazing session. Discomfort affects so many people, including myself, even after I stopped playing volleyball. I'm excited to take everything I've learned today and try these natural solutions. Relief is an important topic, and I'm so glad that you joined us today. Our hope is that this session has given you the tools and insight to support your comfort on a daily basis and your health moving forward. Be sure to join us for the next session where you'll hear all about the amazing work of the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation. And don't forget to stay tuned for your opportunity to earn amazing products today by playing our live giveaway quiz.